Welcome to the Let's Talk About Love, Sex, and Infidelity podcast with your host, Todd Creager. Todd has over 35 years of experience working with thousands of couples as a licensed therapist in his private practice. Todd shares his insights on this show. It's never too early to divorce-proof your marriage or too late to heal yourselves and have the relationship you truly want.
Hi, everybody. This is Todd Creager. Today, my topic is all about how meditation can silence the inner critic. You know, we have this voice inside our head oftentimes that tells us, it's kind of like a running tape that tells us we're not okay, we're not good enough. Some people heard it way too much from a parent or both parents or an older sibling or a younger sibling, and people, we take it in and people buy into these kinds of things. But we do have this inner critic oftentimes that, look, one thing it can do for us is it sometimes could say stop and help you not have a bad decision. That is true. Sometimes it keeps you out of trouble. But really, most of the time, what it really does is it just makes you feel bad about yourself. And oftentimes the inner critic is wrong. Actually, almost all the time it's wrong because there's always reasons, sometimes not in our control, why we don't achieve as much as we want. Or let's say it's really because we haven't done enough practice in something or done enough studying in something, and then we don't get a good result in the test or in a sports event or whatever the case may be, then it's kind of a warning sign that got to work harder next time. But we don't really need to listen to the inner critic, even in that case, for more than a few seconds. I got the message, goodbye, don't need it. But many of us are just habituated and even conditioned to believe everything that comes out of this critical voice, whose purpose really is trying to keep us popular or safe or get approval or meet some societal standard. The other times it's a problem with the inner critic. It isn't just when we hold on to the inner critic for too long for something we really do need to make changes. Many of the times we have an inner critic that is telling us things that we never should have felt bad about in the first place. Like if you're somebody has a different race, a marginalized race that has not gotten the same good treatment as some more privileged races, such as white, or people who have bought into an idea that something's their fault when it wasn't. I mean, I work a lot with trauma, as many of you know, and I've had people who have been abused sexually or physically or mentally, and they blame themselves. So that inner critic is actually absolutely wrong. So, what I really want to talk about is meditation and how that can really help you alleviate the inner critic. And it's such a big tool for so many things, but quieting the inner critic, it's got to be top of the heap in terms of what you can do. And why that is because when you meditate, it helps you, first of all, quiets you down so that your mind, you're more in a place to see your thoughts, and thoughts that you can see or shine a light on it. You now go, oh, look at that thought. A lot of times the inner critic is kind of stealth. It's like we just don't feel very good about ourselves. Meditation helps us identify even that we are thinking that thought. So that's one thing. That's one thing that can be really helpful, is that we can see it. And when we see it, we could challenge it. We can choose to disregard it. But the other thing related to that is meditation is a process where it teaches you to not get engaged and so caught up with the mind. During meditation, a lot of meditation is about continuing to disengage from the mind, to recognize that you're not your mind. You have a mind, and that mind can oftentimes be helpful, but we're not our mind. And meditation helps us realize that we're not our thoughts. We're not that critical voice. In a sense, you could say we're the space that these thoughts come up in. And meditation helps us even glimpses that we might get of, oh yeah. And there's a little separation from our mind and from the thoughts. And along with that is the critical thought. So we get like a different frame of reference when we're meditating. When we're meditating, we're okay. When we're coming from the part of us that's truly meditating, we're okay. This moment is enough, and I'm enough, and I'm okay. And that doesn't resonate with any critical voice. So you have this different frame of reference too. So let's summarize so far. Meditation helps us quiet down our mind so that we could shine a light on that thought and not let it kind of run us. And we end up being a puppet to that inner voice, that critical voice. Instead, when we shine a light on it, we can discard it, challenge it, recognize it, get out from under it. And the other thing I just said that it bears repeating is that meditation helps us realize that we're not our mind, and it gives us a little separation from our mind. And we get that sense while we're meditating that, wow, I'm enough. It's like meditation deconditions us from the conditioned mind that includes the critical voice. Well, just to add to that, when we're meditating, oftentimes we're also able to, since it reduces our defensiveness and helps us realize that we're okay, it's easier to make the changes we need to make to learn from our mistakes. And rather than be hard on ourselves, just get on with the business of self-improvement. Being kinder when we weren't kind, studying more when we didn't study. So, the last thing I want to say is meditation just in general does help us perform better. So even though I'm really talking about its direct effect on us with the critical voice and learning to get out from under it and all that, it can help us be more effective in the world. It really can. Slowing down helps us be more creative, less defensive. Oftentimes, it just puts us in a position where we act in ways in accordance to our deepest values and goals. So it kind of gives the inner critic less chance to thrive. So even though that might be the least important of all the things that I've said, it's still important. It can really help us. So I just want to leave you with this. Meditation done consistently most definitely will help you, just as it's helped me, quiet that inner critical voice. Meditation done diligently on a daily basis, or at least some kind of consistent basis, helps you quiet your body and your mind as a byproduct of the things that we're doing in meditation, and gives us more freedom. And what's more important than being liberated from our critical mind? This is Todd Creager, making the world safe for love.
That's it for today's episode of Let's Talk About Love, Sex, and Infidelity podcast with your host, Todd Creager. For free resources and materials, head over to toddcreager.com. Loved this episode? Head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.